Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Olympic Ultras podcast. I'm Nate.
I'm Michael.
And we are your hosts. This is episode 10, and today we are talking all about the men's senior football team.
Double figures.
Double figures, yeah.
Double
We're already at double figures.
Yeah, they're being cut.
So, of course, first off, we're talking about the Brisbane City game, and then we're going to move into the Gold Coast Knights game, and then the Samford Rangers, our first foray into the Queensland Cup this year. Before we kick off, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow our Instagram, our YouTube, and our Spotify. So that's the Olympic FC _Ultras and the Olympic Ultras podcast. Leave a like, leave a follow, leave a comment. Come join us.
Leave money.
Leave money if you feel like it. Come say hello. It'll be great. All right, let's get into it.
Good.
An absolute classic of an original derby if we weren't having a heart attack during it.
Yeah.
4-4. Both teams led at one stage or another. It just, well, bewildering.
Straight from the off, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I walked away from that as a loss.
I think so too. I think I feel like we came out of that as we lost 2 points.
Yeah. And you could tell the players' faces.
The players felt that too.
Felt exactly the same way. Look, I know football's one of those games where nothing is guaranteed and you know, but on the other side of that coin, holy crap.
Yeah.
Did we play some great football?
Yeah. I feel like this segment in particular right now is going to be a very pessimistic comment followed by a very optimistic comment.
The pessimistic comment's gone.
Well, no, I've got more.
Stay tuned.
Because as you said, you know, yeah, the pessimism side of it is, well, we conceded 4 again against Brisbane City. The optimistic side of that is we scored 4 where we only scored 1 last time. So, like, that was an improvement.
Yes, definitely.
You know, yeah, we were up 4-2 at one stage. We were up 3-1 and 4-2 at one stage. And we let it slip again. A very tricky second half saw us lose a lead. Second time that's happened this season against Penn Power as well. On the positive side of that, they are 2 very tricky away games.
Oh, God, yes.
That both teams just absolutely overloaded us. And, you know, bit of luck in both of them. You know, both of them were good headers, but a bit of luck in both of them.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like the Gold Coast United game and things like that, we have held that lead.
Correct.
And we have managed to get through that tricky part.
Yeah.
And we've still only lost the one game.
Yeah.
And that was against Wolves, who have been blowing everyone away.
Yeah.
So we can sit there and go, oh, pessimism. We dropped 2 points against Penn Power. We dropped 2 points against Brisbane City. We, you know, 4 out of 5 so far, we haven't lost.
Yeah. And that's the ridiculous part about it. We look at this draw and go, oh.
Yeah.
Then you look at the table and go, oh, crap.
Well, hang on. We're actually doing all right. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I'm like, this is very yes and no.
It is very,
yeah. You can sit there and be like, oh, we should have done better here. We should have done better there. But, hey, we're doing pretty well.
We're doing bloody fantastic. But going back to the game.
I
thought the players just played some fantastic football.
They did, and there was some real moments of quality, both offensively, defensively.
Yeah, it was great.
I think, well, we can't go too much further without talking about Louis Greenwood's hat trick.
Oh, who'd have thought? I mean, Louis not a prolific goal scorer.
I was actually about to say, I did a little bit of quick research. I don't think he scored an NPL goal before. He scored one in the Kappa Pro Series this season.
Correct.
He has scored in the Australia Cup back when he played for Penn Power against Wellington Phoenix of all teams.
Don't count.
I don't think he scored in the NPL. Like the quick research, feel free to correct me. The quick research I've had, I don't know if he scored in the NPL.
I have a feeling he has, but yeah, I'd have to look deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to come out and score a hat trick.
Marie, tell us. Speaking
of Marie, unfortunately we didn't have, this was the game that we did have a competition on.
We did.
We didn't have a winner, unfortunately. We did have one commenter, Marie, who was very, very close. But did bet on Fumi rather than Louis.
Number 6, yeah.
And that number 6 decided to take that comment very personally.
He was very hurt.
And, you know, show all of us up.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind being shown up.
I don't mind being shown up. And if you could comment on that on every episode that we do from now on, Marie, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
Love
If it means that
That'll spur
our number 6 scores a hat-trick every game.
Just a big shout out to Marie. Hope you're having a good time down there.
Big shout out to Marie.
We can catch up when you move up, when you come up and see us.
Yes, definitely. And we do very much appreciate Marie's comments.
She's
it's always
a beautiful
fun
lady.
to log on.
Beautiful lady.
See a comment from Marie, and we do very much appreciate you, Marie. We're not taking the mickey out of you.
She's great.
She's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But back to the game. Louis Greenwood hat-trick. Kenshin getting on the score sheet again. By all measures, apart from the win, this was a very, very successful game. Coming out of the Brisbane City match very recently, yes, okay, we still conceded 4, but we scored 3 more goals. We were a little bit more prolific in front of goal.
Correct.
There was a lot of positives to take from this, albeit we let a pretty decent lead slip again.
Yeah. But I think in that second half, towards the latter stage of that second half, we just gave it to them. We pounded them. Yeah. And it just would not go in.
Yeah, it was back, and it was a basketball game.
It was ridiculous. The amount of pressure we put on that team. Any other team would have scored a dozen goals. Yeah. But we were just so unlucky. But we gave it to them that late in that second half.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It did feel like a loss, but at the same time, I was so proud of the boys. They played a very, very good game against a very, very tricky opponent.
Yeah.
It's one of those opponents where form doesn't matter.
No.
It's the derby.
Yeah.
It's just you throw everything that you know out the window and you all start again. So to finish 4-4 again for the neutral, fantastic game to tune into. Yeah. And I'm sure in a couple of years' time it'll be absolute great class, one of those classic NPL matches.
You'll sit down and watch again and again. Yeah.
But for at least you and I, we were having multiple heart attacks.
Oh yeah.
In every 10-minute span of that game.
Booked in the RBH that night.
So, but we still have to pick a man of the match. And I think it has to be.
Yeah, without a doubt. Captain Courageous.
It has to be the captain. It has to be Captain Fantastic. A hat-trick was just everywhere, as he always is.
The hat-trick topped off his good performance.
Yeah.
He played really well in the middle of that park.
He's one of those players that it's really, really difficult to do a man of the match for.
Yes,
because he never has a bad game.
No, and if he does slip up, you don't notice it.
Exactly. So, he very rarely gets that man of the match title because he's got to have a better game than his usual, and his usual is generally very good.
It is, yeah.
But you have to give it to him. 3 goals.
I totally agree.
Absolutely everywhere. Still did all these normal stuff. Threw himself around like always.
Yep.
But managing to get on the score sheet.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And they were well taken goals too.
They were well taken
goals.
They
were well taken.
Yeah. Capped off with a very decent strike. First time strike at the end of it. His third goal was probably his best.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, the game was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And as I said, you go back 10 days?
Yeah, it was about that.
How far that team has come in 10 days.
And we keep talking about attitude. There's this, to borrow a phrase from a certain German coach, the whole mentality monsters side of things. You put your mind in those players. You go to Spencer Park midweek. It's a rough ground. It's got a lot of history. It's been Brisbane City forever.
Yep.
You lose 4-1. And then 10 days later, you got to go back there. You concede in the first 10 minutes, very, very similar to how that previous game went. There's a lot of people that would go, here we go again.
Yeah.
Our boys didn't do that. No. Our boys didn't do that. They got themselves up off the floor. They continued it on. Even though the first goal was scored in a very, very similar manner that a lot of the other previous goals were scored. They picked themselves up. They didn't get dragged into a lot of those fights or anything like that. Brisbane City doing a lot of the grabs, a lot of the pulls, a lot of the yells at the referee and things like that. We didn't get pulled into any of that. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure we did our own, but we're red and white blind. So,
are we?
The look you gave me. We didn't get dragged into any of that. Just the attitude to go, no, there is still a job to be done. Yes. We can still do this. That last game, last game? There was just zero thought about it. No one even worried about it.
Yeah.
It was just
And as
Let's
you
go.
said, it's AA, accountability and attitude.
Yeah.
And they had that in just masses.
Yeah,
And so proud of them.
It's been absolutely fantastic to see. McMorrow comes back into the squad as well.
So good.
Just played like he'd always been there.
Yeah.
Like he'd never had
like
a time
never dropped off.
Yeah. Which was absolutely fantastic to see. I believe he's worked himself pretty hard to get back into the squad, played with the 23s and everything.
He's a good lad too. He's a great player.
He's a good lad. He's got a good head on his shoulders. But yeah, just it's so good to see because coming from, not to have to go as that into previous players, but coming from that attitude where, we were a little bit easy to get to,
Correct.
We were very thin-skinned, and that's what a lot of teams did.
Yeah.
And
they played niggle football.
They played niggle football. They got under our skin and they unseated us, and we that's
but we had
how
players
you got
in previous squads that would always bite.
They would always bite.
And cost us.
Why wouldn't you
goals?
do that?
It cost us distance on the pitch. It cost us everything.
Yeah. To build this squad, how Brozzie's built it, where we do just have that attitude, we do have that mentality, we do have this. Well, I'm not going to let you get on. I'm doing a job. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do whatever. I'm doing my job.
I know what I'm doing, so bugger off.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
That's
and
great.
It's such a breath of fresh
air. And Cam again put another good shift.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with him. He's getting better and better.
Yeah.
You can mention all the other players, and they just play so well.
You could mention every single player. Yeah. I mean, much like the women's game, because this obviously was a doubleheader. We came out of both games feeling very similar. Don't forget to go check out the women's podcast episode as well. We felt we came out of both games feeling exactly the same way. I was so proud that
but so
excited.
I think it was just because of the intensity of both games. I was bloody exhausted.
I was so tired.
Because I remember years and years ago, the Hyundai A-League come out with an advertising banner. And it said, 90 minutes, 90 emotions.
Yeah.
The freaking game still does the same thing. It kills me every game.
Yeah.
I'm an old man. I can't take much more of this. But it is a 90-minute, 90 emotions game where you just can't rest.
Yeah.
And the game is turned on a sixpence.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
It's such a good performance.
And it doesn't stop there because we have a game to look forward to. We have two games to look forward to. It's a double game week.
Two.
Aye. All right. Well, let's look into those, shall we?
We will.
First game kicking off in our double game week is the Gold Coast Knights at Goodwin Park, Friday the 27th of March at 7 p.m. Knights, not to be rude, probably performing a little bit better than I thought, or at least I expected they would.
Yeah, but you look at the table position and the points position.
Yeah.
They're not much above us.
They're not much above us. The top four is still very much in our grasp.
I don't see them being too much. They will be a problem.
Oh, don't get me wrong, yes.
I don't think I'm stupid and arrogant to say they're going to be easy. They'll be a problem.
Yeah.
But I think the way our lads are developing as a squad, I think we'll, again, have a good result against this one.
And we've already played them in the Cap Pro Series.
Correct.
We drew 1-1.
Yep.
I do remember saying after that match, I wish we could have taken home our advantage a little bit more because we were really on top of that match.
Yep.
And I don't know if we just took our foot off the pedal. I don't know what.
You don't really commit a lot to pre-season.
Yeah. But, I definitely think this is very much in our wheelhouse. I think we've only gotten better since then.
Oh, definitely.
The Gold Coast Knights have had wins against people like Eastern Suburbs and Magic, as well as Brisbane City. They were one of the games where Brisbane City conceded 4 goals in a short amount of time.
Sorry.
Also drew against Lions and got absolutely battered by Morden City in the first game of the season. So Gold Coast Knights probably are the beneficiary of playing maybe not the teams in the best moments of their season. So I don't know. I'm trying not to be disrespectful, but maybe it's a little bit like, they're up there because they've had a bit of a luck of the draw side.
Correct. Absolutely. But that happens all the time. I mean, you look at, and again, no disrespect to any side, but look at Wolves.
Yeah, exactly.
Wolves are top of the table, and now they're what?
Yeah, well, they just got beaten by Brisbane Royal B.
4th, 5th?
Yeah, they dropped.
And that's football. It's a dangerous game. You just can't, you just can't walk out the pitch and think we've won this.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you've got to be careful. And I think we'll do okay against Gold Coast Knights.
Yeah, I watched the highlights of the Gold Coast Knights game against East, their most recent one. And I don't know if you've seen it just yet, but they pushed their luck something shocking. East had probably two really good chances very early on, including one from Pengelly where he headed over, which is very unlike Pengelly. And then had two moments where they had two shots that were massive deflections that managed to squirm past the keeper.
Yeah.
And then East managed to get one back, 2-1 win though.
Yeah.
You know, like they really pushed their luck. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it defensively or anything like that, but they had two very lucky moments. And, you know, they were the beneficiary of that. So they've still got some good players.
Of course they have.
They're not the Knights of old.
No.
But
they're in a rebuilding phase as well.
Exactly. You know, they've had a bit of a transition with everything else going on in their back staff. So, but I don't think their name carries as much weight.
No, as maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Or even like their performance doesn't quite match the weight that their name carries. Like it's still, it's the Knights, but I'm like, they've gotten a bit lucky at the moment. And I'm really, really hoping that we can push into that. And you know,
I think we have the players.
Yeah. I definitely think we have the players. I definitely think we have the talent. And again, we know them already. We've already played them. Much like the girls, I'm sure Rosman's probably having a very, very similar discussion as we speak. Talking to the
another
players.
Brilliant tactician.
About exactly what the Knights do and how we can expose them and how can how can we make them play into our hands. I'm sure the Knights are doing the exact same thing. But look, they've still got people like Joel Russell, Tyson Munn, Bradman, like they're good players.
Yeah, of course not.
But I do think we're going to have the talent to see.
I believe so. I really do. On the basis of past performances, I think this one's out.
And we've just been getting better and better and better, and our tactics are really starting to sink in. You know, some of the players that are coming off the bench are making really good chances of themselves and putting in some really good performances and changing the game in a good way.
I mean, your Sams are starting to settle. Declan, Kai, Kenshin, Ty, they're all starting to settle down and find
their groove in
their squad and what has to be done to stay in this squad. They're not just going like, have I played all right today? They're now
they're playing their natural
game now. And that's good because they're more relaxed. They know what they've got. The governor says, this is what you do. And they go out and do it. Yes, of course. Matty Reid's another one.
100%.
Matty Reid. I mean, God, what a player.
Hansio you as well.
You know, and they're all just now starting to hit their straps and develop as a unit. And that can only get better. I really believe it's scary. It'll get better.
Yeah, exactly right. And then we've got, again, this is a double game week. So then we've got Samford Rangers, our first foray into the Queensland Cup. This is round 4, which is when we generally enter. That is on Wednesday, the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. 7:30 p.m. at Goodwin Park as well.
It's nice to sit at home.
So there's 4 games in a row at home with the women's and the men's.
Passport out to Samford and, and pass all the checkpoints.
Exactly right. So nice, easy set of fixtures. Samford aren't exactly having the best run in the FQPL 2, having only won 1 of their first 4 matches, conceding 8 out of those. So,
well, 8's not bad over 4.
No, that is true. However, they are languishing about 9th. And they have to play Caloundra, which are currently 2nd this weekend. So
that'll be a tough gig.
For them, and then to come to us. So again, not to be disrespectful, of course you've got to respect games like this. You've got to respect the opposition.
Every player as well and every team.
This is probably going to be a really good opportunity to bring in those players who are sitting on the fringe. All those players who are in the 23s who are outperforming and are performing at a really high level in 23s.
There's some good lads in the 23s.
Some good lads in the 23s. Giving all of them a chance to play some first team and, get some points on the board and get us into the next stage. Because, of course, we want to go far in the Queensland Cup. We want to get the Australia Cup again.
Oh, we sure do. That has to be the goal.
It has to be the goal. It's the number one goal. We've talked to Brozzy about it before, actually, as well in the Australia Cup. And the goal is always make the Australia Cup. That should be the goal for every team.
To get in that elite group And it is an elite group.
It is.
There's a lot of games before that.
Yeah, and it is such a prestigious competition. Yeah, okay, we only enter in round 4, but, it starts at round 1.
Correct.
All over the country.
Yep.
Regionally and in metro areas, all the way through to the last 32.
Yep.
It is a badge of honor to make that.
Yes.
So, no matter who, no matter what, even Samford, this is a tough gig for them, but even their players will be dreaming of an Australia Cup fixture because this is what you're in there for.
Yeah. You watch it in the FA Cup and hear commentators go, oh, so-and-so, they haven't made the third round for 30 years.
Yeah. Mansfield, Wicker, it's actually done decent.
That's how important it is to make that next step.
Yeah.
For teams.
Yeah.
And their fans.
But yeah, I think we we definitely got the talent to do this.
Oh, without a doubt.
It was a decent draw on our behalf, personally. I think Samford Rangers will be a team that will be able to do quite easily.
Yeah.
I'm sure people like Choco will get a run, being the second keeper or a cup keeper sort of thing. I'd like to see people, even Kai get a start.
Yeah.
He hasn't had too many starts and things like that.
My biggest fear with any game like this where you play a lower division side, I have flashbacks to Rabina.
Yeah.
We thought that'd be easy too. You can't discount anybody in this bloody game.
And it'll be very similar to as you said, Rabina, but also Yeronga Eagles, who we played early preseason, being in a QPL3 side. They're going to dig in.
Of course they're going to
get not necessarily dirty, but they're not going to give a damn about you before they get the ball. Yeah,
they want our scalp on their mantelpiece.
They'll be up for this. We've got to make sure that we respect them.
Of course we will.
That we treat them well as a fellow team and tactically beat them as well as just relying on our own individual talent.
Correct.
Because otherwise,
100%.
If we sit there and go, we've got this.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. They're going to come at us.
I've been there, you've been there.
Yeah.
Not going to work.
Yeah. So, but look, that's not for us. I do think that we will win this.
I do believe so, yeah.
We are allowed to say that.
Yes, we're allowed to say anything we damn well please.
Yeah.
But I won't say we'll win it comfortably.
Yeah.
But we will win it.
I think we definitely will. And like I said, I'd love to see some of the players who haven't necessarily been in and around the starting lineup in a little bit. People like Damon Gorell, people like McMorrow.
Yep.
Even like Rory, who's been coming off the bench quite a lot lately.
Yeah.
Ali, maybe, who's, I believe, playing quite well for the other 23s.
Well, Tommy's been coming off the bench as well.
Tommy as well. Obviously, Chocker. I'd love to see some of those players. And I get a decent chance.
And they're all good players, too.
They're all good players.
Yeah, they're all starting 11 players.
Yeah.
So...
And then, you just have your cannons that just sit on the bench. You keep Kenshin there. You keep Fumi and Cam there just in case.
Just in case we need to bring them on.
You keep Louis and Jackson Simkin and Lockie Duke and just don't make us use them, but we will.
Yeah. We'll play past the jersey with Louis.
Yeah.
See which number he ends up with.
I'm pretty sure there's a nice green or purple keeper kit
probably
for
Louis. Suits his tag.
But yeah, I do think we'll do this one.
I think we will too.
I think we'll get through to
again, as I said, not comfortably, but I think we'll come out with it.
I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
So just to quickly wrap this all up, we've got the Gold Coast Knights game, which is the round 6 of the NPL on the 27th of March, Friday night, 7 p.m. at Goodwin Park, before Wednesday night at Goodwin Park again, our first foray into the Queensland Cup. At 7:30 kickoff against Samford Rangers. That is Wednesday, the 1st of April. So, again, 2 good games coming up for the men's. 4 if you count the women's as well. Friday, Saturday,
it's a great
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Football, isn't it? Over 4 days, 5 days.
All at Goodwin Park.
All at home,
which is even better because I'm sure the canteen's going to be
mega busting out there.
making some amazing food.
And please try the food. It is fantastic.
Pro tip from people who are there at least once a week: the silver platter. The silver platter was $38, $39.
$39
feeds 2 grown adult men, and we can vouch for that.
Yes. You will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed.
My
the food is gorgeous.
Whoever's preparing and cooking that food behind that wall, hats off to you.
Doing a fantastic job. So you're getting down to Goodwin Park, make sure you go and grab something.
Yep.
Souvlaki, halloumi, anything. It's all incredible.
Yep.
Fantastic. But until then, if you see us down on the ground, come and say hello. Make sure you leave a comment or a like on the videos. And as always,
Go Olympic.
go Olympic.